Queen's bitter failure over ruptured royal marriages, she blames herself. The Queen experienced bitter failure over the royal family's ruptured marriages and blames herself, royal historian David Starkey claimed in a throwback interview. Queen Elizabeth II, 95, is often praised for how she has handled the royal family's various crises over the years. The latest challenge for Britain's longest-serving monarch is keeping up with her royal engagements after doctors advised her to cut down her official duties. The Queen rested for the first 2 weeks of this month after a packed diary of public engagements throughout October. Her Majesty didn't appear at the Remembrance Sunday services with other royals at the weekend because she had sprained her back. Last month she pulled out of her planned trip to Northern Ireland and her appearance at the 26th Colombian Pesos Climate Change Summit in Glasgow. The monarch was also admitted to hospital in October for preliminary medical investigations that were not related to COVID-19. Some of the Queen's biggest challenges during her nearly 70-year reign were the divorces of 3 of her 4 children, Prince Charles, Princess Anne, and Prince Andrew. The only one of her children's marriages to stand the test of time is that of her youngest son, Prince Edward. The Earl of Wessex tied a knot with Sophie, Countess of Wessex, at St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle in 1999. The couple's relationship was placed under the spotlight in the documentary, Prince Edward and Sophie Rhys-Jones, The True Story, which was filmed just before the wedding. Speaking for the film, royal historian David Starkey claimed that the ex-royal wives are perpetual reminders of failure for the Queen. He said, "The Queen began her reign by taking a public vow on the day of her accession that she would keep the monarchy as it was in the days of her father and her grandfather. And those were, at least in public, model royal marriages, and it was a model family. These ex-wives, these ruptured marriages are reminders to the Queen, I think, bitterly, of her own failure. Somewhere deep inside herself, at least if she's like every mother that I've known, including my own, finally she'll probably blame herself." Edward and Sophie's marriage was seen by commentators at the time as a positive moment after what had been a tumultuous decade for the House of Windsor. The firm was rocked in 1992 as the Queen's only daughter, Anne, divorced her husband Captain Mark Phillips. The same year, the Princess Royal then married the Queen's equerry, Commander Timothy Lawrence. Also in 1992, Andrew legally separated from his divorce from Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York. The couple's marriage had been coming apart from the early 90s, and their divorce was finalized in May 1996. Just months later, the divorce of Charles and Diana, the Princess of Wales, was also agreed upon. The couple officially separated in 1992 after reports that each of them had been unfaithful to one another. Mr. Starkey said the royal family had lessons to learn after their years of turmoil in what he described as an age of marital breakdown. He said, "It's difficult to say whether the royal family have learned from their mistakes. In one sense, how could they? The problems that they've had, or the problems that the Queen's children have had, are very similar to the problems that so many other parents' children have had." 1992 after reports that each of them had been unfaithful to one another. Mr. Starkey said the royal family had lessons to learn after their years of turmoil in what he described as an age of marital breakdown. He said, "It's difficult to say whether the royal family have learned from their mistakes. In one sense, how could they? The problems that they've had, or the problems that the Queen's children have had, are very similar to the problems that so many other parents' children have had.